before my phone battery dies. I don't have much left on a percentage, but at least here on YouTube versus TikTok, I can save my videos later. Specifically today, I wanted to talk about the fact that, well, witchcraft is a New Age practice. It's early 1900s. Everything we do today in modern witchcraft is, and I shouldn't say we because I'm not a witch, nor do I practice witchcraft. I study it, but I don't practice it. But yeah, everything that we have on it is from the early 1900s. And anybody who believes differently, I am open to references. And I think that's one of the problems that we have in the modern revival reconstruction movement. Hello and welcome. In the modern revival reconstruction movement, too many people just share information as hearsay. They'll use UPG, unverified personal gnosis, basically their own personal experience, and they'll share it as fact. And what I would like to do is I would like to do another video like my one, Wicca versus Witchcraft. I want to do a part 2. And I want to expand upon some of the stuff that I've been learning since I've made that video. That was my first big hit on YouTube, over 100,000 views on it so far. And again, I just want to point out here that not only am I not a witch, but I'm not criticizing those who are. I'm not saying that if you're a modern practitioner of witchcraft that there's something wrong with you. Instead, I want to, and I'm down to 5% battery, good times. So this is going to be a short life. I probably should have charged my phone first. I just want to say that if you are practicing modern witchcraft, I would advise you acknowledging where it comes from or questioning where it comes from. So often we have folks that just use the term, but a lot of them can't define what it is. It seems like today a lot of people are using the term witch and witchcraft generically, like individuals would use the term magician and magic. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your path, if that's what you're following, cool. But if you're new and you're trying to get into this stuff, I want to share information, and I want people to know there's places that you can go to do a little bit of research and find out some more information. Now, some individuals will make the claim that witchcraft is ancient. And when I ask them to prove that, they say, well, it's secret and hidden and passed by word of mouth. I've asked folks for lineages before, like who taught who. Well, I can't share that because it's secret. Then it's hearsay. It's UPG. It's your own personal experience. If you have a family tradition that you've passed down that your family refers to as witchcraft, great, more power to you. But if you can't verify that for others, it's irrelevant. In the greater scheme of things, if you're trying to help others learn, if you're trying to give other people information or resources to go to, that doesn't help them. What helps them is sharing actual sources. For example, the oldest book I have been able to find to date on witchcraft was written in 1899, and it is called Aradia, or the Gospel of Witches. Now, the interesting thing about this particular book, which, by the way, you can find it on archive.org. You can also order it on Amazon. I ordered a physical copy. I've been reading it on archive.org. The book has all the spells and rituals and ceremonies in Italian, and it is basically Italian witchcraft, which comes back to the original point I was bringing up in this video, that people are using the term witch and witchcraft generically, like magician and magic. Everything is apparently witchcraft now. Like, that's Norse witchcraft, that's Celtic witchcraft, that's French witchcraft, that's Italian witchcraft. And I think in Italy, I believe they, at least in modern times, I think it's stregoneria. I don't speak Italian. But yeah, a strega would be like an Italian witch, I guess. But even that word, apparently in Italy, that's a very, very bad malicious practitioner, which is most of the records that we have. And that's the thing I want to clarify too. I'm not saying hello and welcome to the stream, Christina Blackfeather. And that's the thing I want to clarify too, is we have record of people being accused of witchcraft way further back than the early 1900s. But we don't know what they used to do, and nobody can point me to a book or a reference of what they used to do. We have people like Margaret Murray. We have Doreen Valentine, Raymond Buckland, Gerald Gardner, Scott Cunningham, Lady Sheba. And I know there's so many that have written books on witchcraft, but they're all written in the 1900s. A lot of them were published through Llewellyn Books. Few of them aren't. But like I said, that one from 1899 is the oldest one I can find, and I've looked for years. So most of the people that I talk and that use the term witch for themselves, they're self-taught or they're book-taught. Again, nothing wrong with that. You work with what you have. That's why I do these videos. So I can tell you those names or those books, and then you can go look them up. Like, oh, Blaze was just streaming about Radio, the Gospel of Witches. Now I can go read this book, which, by the way, spoiler, this book is, I'm not very comfortable with it. So even though I don't practice witchcraft, if this was my first introduction to witchcraft was Aradia or the Gospel of Witches, I would not practice witchcraft based on that book. But some of the things that it references, it's mentioning, like, I think, what was it, salt, wine, and honey for rituals. That's still done today. Practicing Skyclad. Gerald Gardner was huge on doing that. He, of course, is the creator of Wicca back in the 1940s. Wicca is different than witchcraft, even though it's based on some of the practices, and a lot of Wiccans are also witches. Most of the witches I talk to are not Wiccans, which is, again, that's why I want to do another follow-up video on Wicca versus witchcraft. But if you look at Gerald Gardner in the 1940s, he comes up with his own practice and calls it Wicca. You know where he got that word? Well, if you can reference this on etymology.com, look up the word witch. What is the origin of that word? You can find the term. It looks like it's spelled Wicca, W-I-C-C-A. But if you look at the Anglo-Saxon words in Old English, apparently that is pronounced witcha, and it referred to a male practitioner, sorcerer, magician. And that's what's interesting about it. It's the root word of witch. So people might say, well, that's proof that it's an old word, but we don't know what they used to do. Who were the witcha in Old English? Do we have any records of their practices? No, we're not connected at all. He's using an old word from an old language, a dead language, I think. Well, not. I don't know if Old English is dead. An old language, and he's recycling it for his newer practice, which is, again, that's fine. There's also a female word, which has an E on the end, W-I-C-C-E, so it's witche, so witcha and witche, which is interesting. Gerald Gardner was taught by wise women. Ooh, how do I get back to the comments? I want to read that. Live chat, oh, there we go. Gerald Gardner was taught by wise women. I heard if the ladies had any knowledge, I doubt he was taught a lot of what they know. It was a small amount. Right. Black Forest Coven is what I had heard. I heard Gerald Gardner learned from a group called the Black Forest Coven. And again, though, so he learned from someone from one generation before him. So we might be able to trace some of the teachings back to the 1800s. But he also knew Ross Nichols and Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley, I don't know how his name's actually pronounced, but they all knew each other. And apparently, Gerald Gardner took a lot of the Celtic revival stuff and meshed it in, which is why you see a similarity between modern Druidry, Neo-Druidry, and Wicca. Because all of those seasonal holidays and festivals, a lot of people don't realize this, but words, for example, Samhain. Most people pronounce it right. Some people say Samhain because they don't know yet. Samhain is actually the name for the month of November in Old Irish. If you can actually go to Google Translate and type in Irish to English and type in Samhain, it will translate it to November. We just passed Lunasa. So Lunasa actually is the name for what month are we in? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, August. Lunasa is, again, translates directly into August. I don't know why I forgot what month we're in. But we just passed it on the 1st. These names are Irish names. And that's the thing. It's like Celtic is not technically Irish, but the Irish area was around the Celtic. Celtic refers to a language group. It was a large, broad area. It went through France. It went through the UK. Gaul was, I think, ancient Gaul, I think, is modern France, I believe. Am I live again? Did anyone stick around? Apparently my phone died. Because I forgot to charge it because it was a last-minute decision to go live. And, yeah, this is a great angle on me. It was a last-minute decision to go live because I was trying to stream on TikTok, and nobody was watching. So I was like, I'll come over to YouTube. I got more followers on YouTube anyway. But I thought folks might be interested in actual chat. So it looks like there's one person watching. And if you're still there, thanks for sticking around. I had 9. Everyone disappeared, obviously, because of the technical difficulties because I didn't charge my phone. But I wanted to at least log back in the app and say thanks for hanging out for a little bit and watching, even though this was a shorter one. I do plan at some point maybe to do a live tomorrow. So I'll probably be back tomorrow, do another live, either the same topic or a similar topic. But I need to get back to making videos. I've been going between jobs. I got laid off, so I went to a new job, and I started that about 2-3 weeks ago. So had a little bit of stress, dealt with some things, but I'm back, and hopefully I'll be doing some more videos and sharing some more resources that I've been reading lately. But let's see, how do I end the live? So, are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. So y'all take care, and thanks for hanging out.